Muchas gracias, suerte. But Luis has the experience over a history of fighting since he was 10 years old, so that's going to make the fight all the difference when it comes down to all things being equal in condition.
Well, he sure looked in great shape when we saw him at the gym, the week of the Canelo fight.
¿Cuál fue el golpe? Si fue el swing, si fue la recta, si fue el upper, que le hizo el daño y que lo tenía así todo bailado. He's not really sure. He doesn't really remember. He says it like a flash, but he believes it was probably the right hook that did the damage. But after that, he can't really remember like what was doing more damage or not.
Do you think the referee may have stepped in because Deontay was awfully wobbly and big trouble? I mean, basically about as difficult a condition as a boxer can be in my estimation, without actually being on the floor. Did he feel like the ref could have or should have stopped the fight at that moment?
Si tú piensas que el referee debería parar la pelea en el 7, man. No, he's got no qualms with the referee. He says that Deontay's at that time was a 9-time defending world champion. He should have been given the opportunity to defend himself and obviously, fight. And that's what he felt like.
Put him in that position again and this time finish him. And how so?
Que si tú piensas que en esta pelea vas a poder tenerlo en esa misma situación, replicarla, tenerlo todo noqueado y ya terminar la pelea esta vez. He says, of course.
Okay, man, a few words. Herman and Luis, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan.
Our next question will be from Jake Donovan. Jake, you have the floor.
Hey, Herman, what's going on, handsome?
Jake, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. I just wanted to ask you first, before I ask Luis this, just your decision to set up headquarters in Las Vegas as opposed to training out of your facility in Miami.
It was really a team decision. We were mulling it over for some time before we found out 100% that the fight was on. Different places, not just Las Vegas, we considered before we found out. And then it was really for the distraction back home. Luis is, I don't want to say he's all over the place. He's not, but he's definitely a family man, and he's here and there, and he's, the kids' events and school events and plays and whatever it takes, he's there. And at the end of the day, that's not gonna really jive and mix well with winning a championship and absolutely being at his very best. So it was an easy decision. It was just a matter of where we were coming.
Gotcha. Got it. All right, and then for Luis, I just wanted to ask him, as Dan mentioned too, he's in phenomenal shape already for this fight, and it's still 2 weeks away. Was it a concentrated decision to be in superior shape from the first fight, and does he anticipate being around the same weight, just the shift in muscle mass, or does he believe he'll be lighter for the rematch?
Luis, en esta pelea obviamente ya te ves supremamente mejor y diferente, en tremenda condición que en la primera, que si la decisión tuya fue bajar mucho de peso o nada más cambiar el peso para músculo y menos grasa, pero pesar más o menos lo mismo, que fue la decisión. Yeah, he says, yeah, absolutely. It's never been about weight loss. It's always fought around the same weight, but definitely leaning out, fat and transferring into muscle. So it was a conscious decision with everybody, and it's been, a very productive 10, 11 weeks here so far.
10, 11 weeks. All right, very cool. I'll jump off and let everyone else have a shot.
Thank you, Jake.
All right, you got it.
Our next question will come from Cameron Buford. Cameron, you have the floor.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking time to answer these questions for all of us. Mr. Ortiz, I'd like to know how does Larry Wade help you guys in this particular fight here?
Luis, que cómo te ha ayudado Larry en esta pelea, Wade, Coach Wade, hasta hoy en día. Says Coach brought a professionalism to the camp that fit right in with what we already do as far as, times and schedules and professionalism, and he had a new look on some of the old stuff that's, being done with fighters. So it was a nice change, and obviously sometimes it can be the same thing, but just approached differently, and the body will react better, and that's what it was. And is definitely very happy with Coach Wade.
Okay, with that being said, what's been the most unique training method that's been implemented in this particular training camp?
Luis, ¿qué ha sido lo más único que han hecho en este campamento con Coach Wade? Sí, que ha sido lo más diferente, ¿sabes? There's been a few things, obviously. Like you said, he's brought some things, but if he had to pick one thing, it's been the pool work.
Okay. And lastly, I'd like to ask, you just mentioned that him being away from Miami, being away from his family, I'd like to touch on that or expand on that. How will being away from his family impact the training and preparation for this fight?
Que si tú crees que estando fuera de Miami y fuera obviamente de tu familia, te ha ayudado y se hacía algo beneficiado, de beneficio a este campamento. 1,000% in the discipline and sacrifice for the fight. 1,000%. And he misses his family, so it's more fuel on a daily basis to be heavyweight champion.
Thank you guys for your time, and good luck next week.
Thank you, Cam.
Our next question will be from Cassandra. Cassandra, your mic is open.
Hi, Cassandra Cousineau with LVSportsBiz.com. My question is for Luis. Is this fight more of a personal mission for you to beat Deontay, or is it more so avenging the loss? Is that more of a greater motivator for you for this fight?
Si esta pelea es personal contra Deontay o si esta pelea es simplemente para ganar tu meta que has tenido en tu mente y es este campeón. He has absolutely nothing personal towards Deontay. Respects him as a man, father, a human being, and that's nothing to do with nothing. It's all about being a world champion, coronating himself that night on the 23rd, achieving his goal. He says since he was 10 years old. So no, nothing personal.
Thank you. Good luck, you guys.
You too, Cassandra.
Our next question will be from George Perez. George, you have the floor.
Thank you. Saludos, Jorge Pérez desde Puerto Rico. Saludos, Luis y Germán. Solamente preguntarle a Luis, y realmente yo no lo escucho desde aquí, no sé si es la línea mía, preguntarle a él si la victoria de Andy Ruiz, convirtiéndose en el segundo hispano en ganar un título pesado, pues le sirve de inspiración o de motivación especial para esta pelea.
Que sí, la pelea yeah.
Herman, real quick, can you translate the question in English, please, for those the writers that are?
I can answer in English. That's okay. I was asking if Andy Ruiz recent win, becoming the second Hispanic heavyweight champion in the world, serves as a special inspiration or motivation for him for this fight.
Si la ganada de Ruiz le sirve como motivación, siendo él el segundo hispánico para ganar un título mundial del mundo. Jorge, que sí lo motivó, obviamente, orgulloso, entre otros latinos, ganarle el título. Ese fue su destino esa noche y a nadie se le puede quitar el destino, y definitivamente bien contento. He's very happy that Ruiz won the fight. It was his destiny that night to do so, and no one was taking that from him. And he's very proud of him and obviously any Latin fighter that has any kind of prosperity in the sport, for sure.
Okay. One last question. Does he think Andy will beat Joshua again, and does he foresee maybe a title unification between two Latin heavyweight champions? Le preguntaba, sí, por favor. Le preguntaba que si él cree que Andy Ruiz puede vencer otra vez a Joshua y si le gustaría la posibilidad de una unificación entre dos campeones hispanos de peso completo.
Si tú piensas que Joshua gana o si Ruiz gana, y si gana Ruiz, que si tú esperas poder hacer una unificación entre títulos ganando usted el 23 entre dos latinos, la posibilidad de eso. If we 100%, he would be ecstatic to have a unification bout, period, and even more ecstatic if it were between two Latin fighters. As far as Ruiz winning or not, he's not 100% sure on which way he goes, but he does want him to win and would like to see him come out the victor once again.
All right, thank you very much to Luis Ortiz, Herman Caicedo. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We look forward to seeing you next week during Fight Week in Las Vegas. Luis Ortiz challenging Deontay Wilder for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World next Saturday, November 23rd, live on FOX Sports Pay-Per-View. A big night of action, and now we get set for the champion as we go ahead and look at a man who has a record of 41 wins, no losses, 1 draw, 40 wins coming by way
you
of...
know Wilder going to start preaching.
Actually earned...
He's probably going to be here for a whole nother hour.
When he won a bronze medal for the United States at the 2008 Olympic Games. He is boxing's longest reigning heavyweight world champion, having held his championship January of 2015. He will be making the 10th defense of his championship. Now, if he's successful next Saturday, November 23rd, he will join the likes of Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes, Tommy Burns, the Klitschko brothers, as only those who can successful title defenses. He's a rising star on the ring. Well, he was ranked 34 on ESPN's Fame 100 list, the top spot for any.
A bad connection.
And he's an active champion. He's a fighting champion. This will be the third title defense in his last 11 months. Ladies and gentlemen, with a knockout percentage of 95%, please welcome the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder. Deontay, you have opening thoughts?
What's going on, guys? What can I say? November the 23rd, it's going to be amazing time for boxing and boxing fans. You know, with me and Luis Ortiz, you know, the first fight is self-explanatory. It was an amazing fight. You know, it was a thrilling fight, a fight that kept everyone on the edge of their seat. From the first round through the...
Dice Flores has donated $5 to T Street Controversy.
You know, no one knew what was going to
Keep
happen
up the
until
good
it
work,
happened.
T. Graphics on the way. This fight will last 2 rounds, by the way.
Effect, you know, the same momentum, the same game plan coming in for us. I'm sure the same for him. He wanted to be the first Cuban heavyweight champion of the world, and I want to still, want to keep my title. And this is what it's all about. The heavyweight division, the big boys, where it's the heavy hitters, where one hit to end everything, no matter how hard a person has worked, no matter how many weeks, how many months, one fight, one night, one blow to end it all. And we already know I'm the hardest hitter punch in probably boxing history, period. I'm coming to keep my title. November 23rd is going to be a great moment, and I can't wait.
All right, now we will open it up to the media for questions. And one thing I can tell you, when Deontay Wilder fights, it is must-see television. You have to be in the arena. It is something that you cannot miss. Any moment, a fight can end when Deontay Wilder is inside the ring, and we cannot wait for November 23rd. We will now open it up to the media. If you have questions for the reigning and defending WBC Heavyweight Champion of the World.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad.
What the hell's going on?
Our first question will come from Steven. Steve, you have the floor.
The line, and just a couple quick questions. And just, a lot of people wonder, you don't see in combat sports, MMA or boxing, that the fighter who wins by knockout grants the rematch. What was your mind process of wanting to grant Luis Ortiz a rematch?
Well, my ultimate thing of granting Ortiz was the rematch. Well, I won't say the ultimate. It's several reasons. One, he's one of the best in the world. No one is still giving Ortiz the opportunity. Even after me defeating him the first time, most time when you do, especially when you knock him out, other guys are willing to fight him. They see weaknesses. They see kinks in his armor. But in Ortiz's situation, in his case, none of these guys still, they didn't want to fight him then, and they don't want to fight him now. So I wanted to give him an opportunity again to prove all doubts, even in our first fight, that we had all doubts. And secondly, Ortiz has a family. I grew up a great bond with Ortiz the first time, with his child, and my child is born with a disorder as well. So I know personally how hard it is and how much it takes to take care of a child with a disorder. It takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of care, and I grew a great bond with him. So I've seen a lot of these top guys in the heavyweight, they want to bless him. He need money to support that, and I wanted to bless him again, not only for him being a great warrior, one of the best in the world, but also for his family. I wanted to bless his family and put him on pay-per-view. So if this is the last fight, because this might be his last hurrah, at 40 years old, coming in, we all know when you fight Deontay Wilder, I take something from you. I take years from your life. And now this man going in here again to get some more. He already got some of that sweet potato pie the first time. I guess he's coming back for second. And I'm ready to fill his mouth up with it. So with that being said, you got November the 23rd, baby, in Vegas coming.
You've seen what happened in June with Anthony Joshua when he lost to Andy Ruiz. What have you taken from that fight to make sure you don't avoid those same pitfalls next Saturday?
Could you repeat that one more time, please?
Absolutely. You look at what happened with Anthony Joshua in June against Andy Ruiz. What have you done in your camp to make sure you don't avoid those same pitfalls next Saturday?
Well, me and Anthony Joshua, we have a different mindset. My mindset is very strong. It's way stronger than him. I spoke about this before. And Joshua, I don't think, he called it up on himself. He knew he was going to lose one day. He even spoke it. He spoke it into the universe. And even when it was time for it to happen, look, he gave his belts over to Ruiz. He literally transported his belts to this man. His energy gave his belts to this man.
Remember that?
You can see it. For me,
I was pissed he gave him those belts.
Different. I'm a totally different king. I'm a totally different beast. I'm the best in the world, and I prove it each and every time I go in the ring. I'm not worrying about going in there and making any mistakes and stuff. And if I do make any mistake in the ring, rest assured I will correct it as the fight goes on. But I don't see this fight. I see this fight going one way, and that's Deontay Wilder knocking out Luis Ortiz, point blank and period. He knows it. I knows it. When we went in the ring the first time, he hit me with everything in the kitchen sink. Shots that he know that he usually hit opponents with, they go down. But I'm a different beast. And with that being said, I got a lot of things that I got to do. I'm fighting for one champion, one face, one name, and that's the unification. And nothing is going to get in my way of that. Nobody.
And lastly, I wanted to ask you this, just because he brought your name up when he was in WWE recently, Tyson Fury. I just wanted to get your quick thoughts, Deontay. Did you watch anything with Tyson in WWE? And if you did, what did you think of Tyson's performances?
I didn't even get the chance to see it. I wish I actually got the chance to see it. I would have loved to seen it and see how he transformed. From boxing into the WWE. You know what I mean? Although WWE is more entertaining, entertainment as far as acting things out, and boxing is more seriously. We risk our lives for sure. But it would have been refreshing just to see, how he does. With me, I don't hold grudges. I don't have no ill will towards no fighter at all, because I am a fighter myself, and I understand what we go through as fighters. And if any fighters have the opportunity to do other great things outside of the boxing ring, I'm all for it. Because most fighters, they've been doing it for so many years, especially the ones that've been doing it since they was kids. They feel like this is all they got. This is all they know how to do. And if this is all you know how to do is fight and let somebody dictate your career, then I feel sorry for you. The ones that know how to get out and go get another income, another resource, man, I congratulate you. And, and that's how I feel with that. I didn't get to see it, but hopefully I get to see a rerun or something and see how he did.
Thank you, Deontay. Best of luck next weekend.
Thank you so much.
Our next question will be from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Dan, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Hello, Deontay.
What's going on there?
Hey, I'm doing good, thank you. When they introduced you on the call, I think it was Ray Flores that mentioned that this will be your 10th title defense, and I was thinking there are not a lot of heavyweights that make 10 title defenses. He mentioned a few of them, guys like Larry Holmes, Klitschko, not even Mike Tyson got to that point. But I wondered, does that nice round number mean anything to you? I mean, to get to be successful on this fight and get to 10 title defenses in the heavyweight.
Dan is fat.
It's easy to do.
Cool dude, though.
I mean, it's definitely not easy to do. It's a great accomplishment for myself and for my career. It's definitely going to carry me as I rack up these numbers. But to be honest, at the end of the day, it's just what it is. It's a number. For me, it's a great honor to be able to say this is my 10th title defense that I'm about to have. When many thought I wasn't gonna never be the heavyweight champion of the world, period. And here I am, 10 title defense out of 41 fighters, 40 have been knocked out. It's amazing to be at this point in time. And at this point in time, it just right now all I could do at this point in time for my career is just rack up numbers. I've always fought for legacy. You know what I mean? And I'm still fighting to this day for that. And I just want to be the best in the world, Dan. I want to be the best that's ever done it. When people think about boxing, I want them to say Deontay Wilder, and I'm doing everything in my power. I've done everything in my power, to try to bring that. I'm still doing it right now to be the best. And, if numbers is what makes you, stand out, if people look at numbers and see that what makes you stand out, then so be. But not only do I want the numbers to stand out for me, I want my actions to speak as well, too, because, actions speak louder than words any day. And that's what it means to me.
All right, and now you mentioned earlier about that 7th round where, he basically, as you said, threw everything in the kitchen sink at you, and you were able to survive by far the most difficult moment of your career, at least in my estimation. I wonder, how did you survive that 7th round, and what did it teach you about yourself that when you're in that kind of crisis?
I mean, the seventh round was an amazing time for me. It allowed me to see what I'm really made of. It allowed the world to see what type of champion, a true champion that they have in America, and he's been here. With that 7th round being under the conditions that I was under, I was very proud of myself. to be able to handle those situations, to be able to go into the fire like that. For one, just taking the fight, going into the fire like that with a flu. You know, proper protocol is to cancel that and wait till a later date until you're healthy. But, you know, being me, I'm hard-headed. You know, I always do things that many boxers don't do. And I think that deal with me wanting my legacy different from the rest. I don't want the same, you know, he got nice skills, and I want to be different. Oh, he talk like this. I want to be different. That's why I do the things I do.
Okay, do you feel you had knocked him down in the 5th round?
Oh, my God, Dan?
To be in control of the fight. Do you feel like in the 7th round when he was able to break through the way he did you maybe get a little bit lackadaisical, thinking, I had him down, I'm just wearing him down, I'm going to take him out, and then he surprised you? Or how did you view what happened in the 7th round? How did it happen to you?
No. I never go in there and lose any. I'm always encouraged. I didn't get discouraged because I knocked him down and he came back. And I mean, you want to be honest. You know, in the 5th round, the bell saved him in the 5th round. If you want to be honest about that, I was.
Saved you in the 7th round, though, didn't it?
Well, you know, I wouldn't say so because I mean he still had 40 seconds. How many seconds did I have in the 5th round to finish him off? He had 40 seconds, and he couldn't do it. He threw everything, everything, and me being sick. I keep telling you, I had the flu, and if anybody know anything about the flu, it makes you weak, mentally, physically, emotionally. And he couldn't get me out. He threw everything.
What do you remember about that, though? When he was throwing, do you remember a specific punch? Remember anything that was going through your mind as he's, has you up against the corner post? Like, what do you remember about those, like you said, about 40 seconds, maybe a minute or so of the round?
Yeah, I remember getting buzzed. When I threw, how it first happened, we threw a punch together. But he landed before me, and that what buzzed me the first time. But I was like a slight buzz the first time, and then I tried to bluff it, but I didn't bluff it. When I bluffed it, I wasn't separating myself from him. I didn't have enough distance apart from each other. So I was pawing my jab just to let him know I'm still here, I'm active, to bluff that I'm a slight buzz from that impact that happened. He caught on to it, being that he was, experienced fighter and stuff. He read body language. He caught on that I was buzzed, and that's when he came again with the right hand, and then that's when it became a severe. I was never hurt. I was never hurt. I think people use hurt too much. They throw that around too much, because they don't understand the difference between buzz and hurt. And I advise anybody, if you're in boxing and you want to talk about boxing, experience some of the things that we go through. Go in the ring and get hit and see what it feels like to get buzzed or maybe even get knocked out. But I understood everything what was going on with me. I was coaching myself internally. My inner voice was telling myself to keep going. Make sure the referee sees you. Make sure you just keep hitting them. I didn't want to make any punch effective because I didn't want to waste any, unnecessary energy because I wanted to be able to get this buzz. I want to recover. So I didn't want to use that much energy. So I hit them anywhere I could, no matter where it was, so the referee can understand that I'm very active, I'm aware, and I can still fight. And I don't think I got enough credit then for that, especially with the commentaries, that were commentating the fight. They didn't understand what I was doing, how I was closing in perimeter on him. I didn't give him enough space where he can release off enough punches. I stayed close to him in the pit pack. I didn't get no credit for the intellect that I had in the ring coming around in the 7th round, So, everything I knew what I was doing. And when the bell rung, as you can see, I knew exactly where I was. I went right back to my corner, and I still was talking shit going back there, too.
All right, very good. Deontay, thank you so much for that great description, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Dan Rayfield call.
Man, thank you.
Next question will be from Bernard Fernandez with thesweetscience.com.
Yeah, Deontay, for most of the time leading up to this fight, and even with the last fight, there's been a lot of talk about family. You appreciate him being a family man. He appreciated you being a family man. Other stuff. I found it a little interesting that when he was on earlier, he was talking about some of your tactics as borderline criminal.
Yeah, I'm in the queue. I pushed star 1.
I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say that about you before, but I mean, what is your response to him saying that some of what you do is possibly illegal, or beyond the rules?
What the fuck is he talking about?
What I do is illegal.
What the fuck is his question?
He described some of the tactics as borderline criminal.
Stupid ass question.
Have you ever heard that before? And where does it come from? Does it cause you to look at him any differently?
I never heard of that, so I never heard of that, so I'm think he's being sarcastic. And the only thing that's criminal is me hitting people with the right hand and almost killing them. That's the only thing I can go with.
Okay.
Because I don't understand nothing. I don't understand what would
you basically.
Now, Luis Ortiz, trainer did say that.
That's what you get, and
not in those words though.
I've never heard anybody try to use that sort of description on anything that you do in a ring.
Right, most definitely. That's the only thing I can come up with because as far as in the ring, I don't know what can be criminalized. As far as in the ring, unless I'm showing action of me trying to actually kill a man. That's the only thing that I can see. Other than that, that'll be something that someone has to ask him to reiterate on himself about, clarifying what he meant by that. I would love to know myself, to be honest.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Because I want to add another thing, because if it's something to tear me down or something like that, then, that'll make me even more, I would feel some type of way towards Ortiz even more than I'll feel a negative type of vibe towards him if he would ever try to,
he didn't start it bullshit.
Try to tear me down or something. After I blessed him twice, I would love to know what he meant by that. That could be definitely an it factor for raising my blood. He talking about taking blood pressure medicine. That'll definitely raise my blood and make me want to even more hurt him more than what I want to do now. So you need to clarify that for me, before I take it in the wrong way. And we know when I get mad, it's over with. It's over with. So right now I'm mutual with him. I'm very respectful. He should thank God for me. I'm blessing him a second time, ladies and gentlemen, when I didn't have to. So I need that clarified. I'm going to take this the wrong way, and I'm going to really want to beat his ass.
Our last question will come from Carlos Toro.
He's going to like it. He's going to get it from a real man.
Thanks, Deontay, and thank you so much for taking time.
Julio Ceja has just donated $2 through Super Chat. Wilder is a dumbass.
When it comes to this rematch against Luis Ortiz, when you say that, do you believe that, is getting a win enough to silence any doubters, or does it have to come from another knockout?
No, a win is a win, whether it's ugly, pretty, or in between. A win is a win. But, my fashion, I never want to leave the ring without a man being knocked out. Either you knock me out or I knock you out. And that's the rules. That's the rules I play in this boxing industry. I don't play around with no one. I don't act like I play around with you. And everything I say, I mean. I make it loud and clear. I make what I say known. And I say it, like I say it loud and clear, so there's no miscommunication between my language of words that I choose to use. I'm a knockout artist. That's what I come to do, to knock you out. That's plain and simple. There's no other barriers or words to explain that. That's just easy. I come to knock you out, point blank, period. I don't care who you is, where you from, or what you got going on at that time in your life. You signed the contract, you stepped in the ring with me, now your ass is grass.
After the first fight, obviously a lot of people were very excited when the first fight between the two of you was incredible. At the time when you beat Luis the first time, did you think that there was a time where you two might have to run it all the way back again, or did you not? Or did you think that part of your career was over against Luis Ortiz?
Oh, not at all. After that fight, I felt like I wanted to run it back. It was such a great fight, you know what I mean? I definitely wanted to run that one back with him. That was a moment in time where I felt like that was a part of me proving myself as a heavyweight champion. You know what I mean? A lot of people, take my fights and my opponents, whatever opponent may be satisfying for your taste of acknowledging me as the real king, the real champion of the division. Everybody got their own different opponents that they look and say, okay, I believe him. He's the real deal. And I think with Ortiz, it opened up a lot of people's eyes. I don't think I know. I know for facts it opened up a lot of people's eyes, and it allowed a lot of the haters or the doubters, I would say. It silenced the doubters, and it made them a big fan of mine. And now it's an uproar about Deontay Wilder. Not only because of the Ortiz fight one, but after my actions of what I've done after that, and here we are again running back around with Ortiz too. I always wanted to fight him again because I feel like it would be, good for boxing. It would be great for pay-per-view because of what we did the first time. And, I always say speaking, believe, receiving, and here we are now.
Lastly, I'm kind of backing off of the question at the start of your portion of the call. You said that, you kind of, give credit to Tyson Fury for taking advantage and going to WWE, doing something outside of boxing. If given the chance, whatever point in time, whether it be during your career or after your boxing career is done, if you're giving an opportunity to go to WWE, kind of do the same thing that Tyson Fury did for the past month, would you take it?
I mean, WWE was a thing that we years ago talked about as far as promotion, and different things. And that's the reason why he's doing it, for promotion. He's trying to get his name bigger in America, which, that's a good route to take because, WWE has, millions upon millions of followers, that looks at it. And, so that was a good approach to him trying to build his name, especially after he coming from Vegas, selling a 20,000 seat 20,000 seat facility, and he only selling 3,500 the first time and 15 the second time. The only reason he sold 35 the first time because he was coming off a fight with me, and people trying to understand him. The second time they understood that he was full of bullshit, and and his numbers just went down. So now they're trying to put him. They're trying to find some type of way to market him even more for the rematch of the fight, and and we're going to tell the difference. When I fight in Vegas, you're going to see the difference of what I do and what he did, and we'll know for sure who sold the pay-per-view. And I guarantee you right now, it's going to be me. So, but if the opportunity came by at this point in time, who knows? I mean, it all depends on what I got going on at the moment in time, or when the opportunity presents itself, what the schedule is looking like. My stardom has grown tremendously. I'm everywhere. I got multiples of countries want to host me to their country. I'm popping right now. I can say I'm popping, and life is great. And I just want to continue to add to that. And but who knows, man? I can't say no and I can't say yes. I'm just gonna keep that bridge open. You never want to burn bridges because you just never know when you may need to cross them again. So that bridge is still open.
Thanks, Deontay. Best of luck on November 23rd.
My man, thank you so much.
All right, Deontay, we know you're very busy and continuing to prepare yourself for your big matchup next Saturday, November 23rd, against Luis Ortiz on FOX Sports Pay-Per-View. Do you have any final comments, Deontay, before we get to Las Vegas next week ahead of your championship defense?
Man, I just want to tell all the fans of boxing and fans, you know, that's going to tune in to boxing. I just want to say thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your time, you know, and your willingness to understand this sport. It's a brutal sport, you know, and I always say it all the time, you know, this is not a gentleman's sport for me. It may be for others, you know, but for me, we're not asking each other to hit each other in the head. You know, we're doing it on will because we're getting paid to do so. We have might as well call us hitmen because that is what we do. We got a contract to beat somebody up, and we sign it, and we going to get it. We got a name on the paper, and it's a price on his head, and goddamn it, I'm going to do my job well, like I always do. So I appreciate you guys so much. You know, this last fight with Ortiz, it was an amazing fight. It was an exciting fight. You didn't know who was going to win. And this is the fight that you want to be looking at. This is the fight that you want to tune into and pay your money. If you can't be there, click that button, pay-per-view on Fox. You want to see a fight where you don't know what's going to happen, but you know on that point in time, something's going to happen? Wilder-Ortiz is the fight to see. I can't wait to perform for you guys as I always do. I can't wait to you guys witness that you have a bad man in Deontay Wilder in America, and we ain't going nowhere. Up, on and upward from here and on out. Again, thank you guys for your love. Thank you guys for your time. And thank you for your money. I love you. God bless. And I can't wait. Squad!
Thank you very much to the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Deontay Wilder. He's undefeated, puts his title on the line next Saturday, November 23rd, from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. It is FOX Sports Pay-Per-View, all presented by Premier Boxing Champions. Tickets for the event, they are still available, www.mgmgrand.com or AXS.com. They are going quickly, all promoted by Bomb Squad Promotions, TGB Promotions, and Mayweather Promotions. Thank you all to the media for calling in and listening, and we will see you next week during a historic fight week in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. Bye-bye.
I agree with Deontay Wilder. If Luis Ortiz is so damn old, then knock his old ass out and get on with it. You know, I like this fight though. I really do. I'm really excited about it because Deontay Wilder can lose. This has been a year of upsets, right? And also, you know, we don't got no mainstream boxing this week unless you're watching Rocky Fielding. You know, so basically, numbers should be up for the fight next week because people are going to be like, where's my boxing? Oh, Wilder fight? Oh, damn, it's on pay-per-view, though? Damn, you know? So, undercard, though, you know, Leo Santa Cruz versus Miguel Flores. Yo, bro. Yo, bro. Yo, I'm not really feeling that. You know, Luis Nery versus Manny Rodríguez, that's a nice, good test. Remember, I covered Manny Rodríguez versus Inoue for that IBF title, right? At 118. You know, let me pull up the undercard. Let me pull up the undercard for you. Let's see what we got over here. I wanted to ask Luis Ortiz to give an assessment of, or basically, you know, people think he washed up and like he ain't shit because he went 10 rounds with Christian Hammer and then, you know, couldn't knock out Travis Kaufman until like the last round. So people like, yo, he done. So I wanted to ask him like, yo, bro, what you got to say about that? You know? Also his weight. And I guess he is taking his blood pressure pills, right? There's VADA testing. You know, he's got his exemption. And I do think whoever was saying in the chat, I think it was Hassan, I do think that shit he be having on his head, and I think that shit's a piece. Duh, that's a fucking piece. Listen, and you know me, my fucking bald ass. I be spotting people pieces. Like, let me tell you, Eddie Hearn piece was profound. That's probably why they copyrighted me. Eddie Hearn piece was profound, dog. Like that shit, like he got that hair piece. Like his shit is like kind of gray, but right here in the front, like, nah, Eddie, you can't fool me, dog. You can't fool me, dog. That's a fucking piece. What? Shut up, Siri. Am I talking to you? So Siri and the Google chick got into. I got the Google box shit. They got into some shit earlier. Like they was like, it was some crazy, creepy shit going down. Like they was like beefing. So anyway, what was I looking at? Yeah, man, this motherfucker's hairpiece, dog. I mean, he do look younger though. You know, I don't know what they doing, but did you notice he don't got a lick of facial hair or a lick of fucking or a lick of like body hair? Look at that shit up there. That's the look. I'm gonna go full screen. I'm gonna go full screen. That's the LeBron, man. Oh, this is the type of content where people are gonna be look. This is why your fucking channel's falling off because blah blah blah. Actually, numbers have been like really, really, really good around here, like for real. But anyway, that is okay. Shit. Look, you ain't fooling me, man. However, I think he can pull it off. And also, how he looking so young? I bet you he got like in his shower, he got like all those fucking moisturizers and shit, like them facial scrubs. He really be go. Look at this shit. This shit look like he used the fucking the Photoshop shit, the you know the fucking blur smudge shit that you can do Photoshop shit with. the clear up all the lines. But anyway, Luis Ortiz, I'm about to pick him to beat Deontay Wilder, but I guess knowing me, if I pick him to beat Deontay Wilder, that must mean that he gonna lose, right? You know, I'd be like double jinxing people. But if I'm scared, if I pick Wilder, then, you know, he gonna lose. You know? But yeah, man, he's got some splaining to do, bro. I don't know. He's training like a madman now. I wanted to know what weight he's going to, also what weight he is. You know, the lowest he's ever weighed at this point in time in his career, well, at this, you know, stage, the last 5-6 years or so, like 230. You know, when he fought Wilder the first time, he was, what was he at? 242. But right now, looking at the footage and the tape, he looks like in way better shape than he was looking when he fought Wilder the first time. You know? Looks in way better shape. So remember, like he was winning the card, like on the cards until, you know, oh yeah, that's a good shot. But yeah, he was winning. Look, ain't no grays at like the fucking root. Nah, bro. But yeah, he was doing good. So overall, he is the better boxer, right? But you get hit with that Wilder shit, man. You get hit with that Wilder shit, you're in for a bad night. You know? Old man legs. And with somebody like Wilder with that agility, like Wilder has the physique, like the build. He literally has the build of an NBA 2 guard. Like 6'6", you know, 6'6", about 2, you know, between whatever you want to come in 210 to 225. You know, dude is agile as fuck, especially when he do that juke shit. Like, he can be on one side and knock your ass out, and then be on another side and then knock your ass out, like, while you being knocked out. Like, that shit. So they were talking about that on the media call, like, especially Luis Ortiz trainer, like, yeah, Wilder. Basically, they was talking about Windmill Wilder, like how they got to neutralize him or don't let him get to a point where he starts going all manic and shit and start doing all that crazy shit. So when the guy was asking that question, it seemed like a dumb question. He just worded it wrong. But yeah, Luis Ortiz and his team, they both talked about how like the shit that Wilder was doing is kind of like fucking wild and like illegal, pretty much, you know. Yeah, not even one motherfucking gray hair, right? That shit ain't right. But either way, you know, it's and also what Wilder said, which was interesting, is about the Tyson Fury fight, dude. Them Tyson Fury, both of them did not do shit. Like, for real. That was, like, Tyson Fury, he's just not resonating over here. You know, like, if he would have came over here years ago, I've said it many times, fighters like him, Anthony Mundine, like, if they would have came over here and established themselves over here, like, you know, 5-10 years ago, you know, they would have been, you know, like stars. But with this oversaturation of boxing and everything, is, you know, Tyson Fury's just not really hitting it. And, you know, I've been watching him on wrestling, you know, his little shits and everything, like shit he been doing. He was just on there. What was he on there? Wasn't he on SmackDown last Friday? He showed up again. It was in Manchester Well, anyway, the shit's just, So I'm really wondering, like, they talking about Wilder fucking Fury 2, if they both get there, obviously, can do fucking 2 million buys. Like, that's would be wrong at the top, like, with these people. They be so fucking oblivious. Y'all motherfuckers, look, y'all here. Y'all some cheap-ass degenerate bastards. You bastards can barely scrape up $10 fucking or $20 to get the zone. So they be thinking these people are going to be buying all these fucking pay-per-views. They really think that. They really think that. Like, well, with ESPN and Fox coming together and pushing, it's going to do 2 million. Man, they motherfucking tripping. Like, I be thinking, what is wrong with these people? Like, when they be putting these fights in certain arenas, thinking like, oh yeah, it's going to sell out. When they be putting these fights on, they're not here in the States. Over in the UK, they're killing that shit. Over here in the States, like, they lost, yo. They lost. Putting on cards on the same fucking day and shit. Wilder Fury 2, I think dude does